Hello guys, this is CTK Gamer. Today I'm going to be doing a review on Sid Meier's Civilization: A New Dawn.
Let's go ahead and open up the box. Now, here we've got the rule book. It's a pretty good sized rule book, but, well, there's a lot of stuff in it, I guess, but for the amount of stuff that's in it, it's not too big, I guess. 15 pages. Here we have, these are the focus row boards or something like that. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but there's one for each color: green, orange, blue, and red. Set those off to the side. All the board pieces. Now, compared to Civilization, the board game, I actually like these board pieces better because they're hexagonal, if that's a word. But, yeah. And they kind of work together, though, in a really weird way, and that's what I don't like about them. Because in the board game, you can just, they're squares, right? It's easy to fit them together. With these, you kind of have to go like, oh, that can fit there, and then, wait, that can't go there, it has to go like there. And you gotta find something to squeeze in there, and it's just really awkward with all the shapes. But they are all the same shape, and there is a way to fit them together, but it's a lot harder than just squares. This is the event dial, I believe it's called. Pretty standard, it's just a dial. These are all the focus cards. There's a bit for each player, not nearly as much as there is for Civilization board game. So let's see here. So how it works is there's levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, and there's, I believe, 5 of each type. So there's 5 of these, 5 of these, 5 of these, and 5 of these. And then you'll all start out with all the level 1 cards, and you can, one by one, upgrade them to the level 2 cards, then 3, then 4. So, yeah, that's how that works. Leader sheets. These are a lot easier to store than the ones from the Civilization the board game, because they don't have a dial built into them. So they say at the bottom, like, what's your starting, what positions of the focus row your starting cards are at. Then they have an ability for your country. There's a decent amount. Let's see, what is this? 8 different countries or leaders, and yeah, for 4 players. So there's the box, and then I've put most of the other smaller pieces in this container. Now I have one of these containers for almost all of my main games. I've shown them in multiple different videos before. So for each player, there are the plastic pieces. So there are 3 types of pieces. There's the caravans. There are the cities, which look like this. Then there's there's one capital city, which you can kind of see the difference between them. This one looks a little more fancy. And then there's one of those for each player. One set of those, I should say. Each player also has these control and reinforcement tokens. So they're like that on one side, and the reinforced side has a little bit of more detail around it. There's that. Now we've got, these are like the different resources. There are 4 different resources. Quite a bit of detail on these, actually. The wonders are kind of boring and plain. Wonder tokens. How it works in the game, once you have a city on the board, you don't have outskirts for the city, you just have the city itself. So if you buy a wonder, you just place it right underneath the city. Now, it doesn't have much detail at all, and it's kind of a weird shape too. I don't know why it's in this shape, but it's got a picture, the type, and then a color. Trade tokens. I don't know where they got these from, because they're not, as far as I know, they're not in the computer game, because this is based off of Civ 6. So, don't know where they got those from. Wonders and city-states. City-states are a very good idea that they have. I think they're a lot better than the ones from Civilization, the board games. I think it's Fame and Fortune expansion, maybe Wisdom and Warfare, one of those. Their city-states from that game are a lot worse than those. In that game, it's like a building. In this game, you can trade with it and do stuff with it and capture it and stuff like that. There's a lot more you can do with them. Then the natural wonders. In the original game, they're just spaces that happen to have culture on them. But in this game, they're actually a resource that you can use over and over again, which is pretty nice. Then they have a little bit of cards. Here are the 4 different types of wonder cards. There's some diplomacy cards, actually, so you can actually send caravans to each other and then get diplomacy cards so that you have better abilities. City-state diplomacy cards, so once you trade with a city-state, so you get a caravan to a city-state, then you get a good bonus from them and stuff like that. And these are like the victory cards, so that you randomly would draw 3, and there's 2 conditions on each page, and each player has to complete 1 of them. So the game changes each game of how to win, unlike the board game, where it's always the same 4 things. So those are the cards. And there's just these tokens, because if you use the advanced way to set up the board, sometimes you can create gaps in the board. That's what these are for. Just fill in these gaps with water. The research dials, not very much detail at all on these, kind of cheap, but it's not like they're going to fall apart or anything. They'll work well. Yep, just like that. Then there's this, which is a really good idea the game has, actually, where this goes up against the board, and they're actually barbarian tokens that look like this. And each round, you'll roll a dice, and this tells you which direction each barbarian moves. So you roll the dice, and let's say that you roll a 4, the 4 is pointing that way, so all the barbarians move that way. And if they move into something, then they attack it. So that's all the parts. Now I'll quick show you what it looks like when the game's all set up. So this is what it looks like when it's completely set up. So this is the board. I didn't bother putting the resources out there yet, but you've got the barbarians there that will move around during the game. City-states you can trade with. And each team will start with a capital city. And then each player will have their leader card. They got the reinforcement tokens here. Their plastic parts, diplomacy cards, and then their dial. So during the game, you'll choose a card, do what the card says, and just reset the cards. Everything, like if you use masonry, let's say, when you're done, everything to the left of it slides up 1, and you put it at the number 1 spot. And effects cards are better and better as they go up the board towards the higher numbers. So that's basically it. That's Civilization New Dawn. I'll probably be doing a tutorial on it sometime in the near future. So thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your day.